Alright, so before I get into this video, I just want to talk about my previous video really quick, because as I'm sure most people know, and have pointed out in the comments, it wasn't the best video for me. I definitely didn't do enough research, and I kind of rushed to get it out because I've been traveling recently, and I should have just taken more time with it, or not made a video on that at all. Like, the only reason I wanted to talk about it is because I covered George's side of the story, so I thought I'd give Logan a fair shake and try to be objective. But there are a couple things I missed. Like, for example, there's this short clip that Logan used of George talking about how he couldn't grow enough on the podcast, and Logan was acting like he was referring to growing career-wise. But going back, looking at the podcast with full context, George was talking more about how he couldn't grow personally, and that's understandable. So there's some parts of that video that I definitely could have done a much better job with. And I decided to leave the video up. I know there are a lot of people that told me to take it down, but I feel like that'd just be kind of lame. Like, I'd rather just own up to it and not try to hide it. And I'm not monetizing the video at all, so I'm not leaving it up to make money off of it, which some people are saying, which just sounds ridiculous because that video is not doing me any favors. You know, it's only hurting my channel. And then also people are saying that I was deleting comments, which sounds ridiculous again because I think like 95% of the comments are negative. So if I'm deleting comments, I'm doing a terrible job at it. And I've never once deleted a comment on my channel. You know, I think YouTube sometimes like accidentally deletes comments or something. I don't know what goes on there. Like, I know comments do disappear occasionally, but I'm definitely not deleting any. Alright, so now I want to get into the main topic of this video, Bobby Lee and some of his creepy past behavior and current behavior. You know, I think the whole George Janko situation is really bringing some of this to light because this isn't a one-time thing from Bobby. I mean, he's been doing this stuff forever, but I think this situation is making more people realize how weird and creepy he can be. And I gotta say, it's almost impressive how he's managed to pull this stuff off and not get any trouble for it. You know, because if any other celebrity were to do this, their career would be over. You know, they'd be canceled. And I'm not saying he should be canceled, but I just think more people should call him out and check him on this stuff because, you know, he's been doing this for such a long time. He just thinks it's no big deal. And his fans never really seem to hold him accountable. I mean, he has such a bizarre fan base. They treat him like a child that could never do anything wrong, which just enables him because, you know, he's been doing this stuff forever, and you would have thought after Me Too he would tone it down a notch, but that didn't really happen. And on Impulsive, he's grabbing George Janko's dick, he keeps touching him, he makes him smell his balls. And then when George brings this up and doesn't even really say anything that bad about Bobby, like he just says that's what happened, and he doesn't complain about it that much, but Bobby's fans, they say, George sounds like a bitch. Dude is so unfunny and sensitive. Oh my god, this guy can't stop crying already. How does somebody so emotional think he's gonna make it in comedy? And it's crazy because, you know, if this were the other way around and somebody were to do this to Bobby and he was uncomfortable with it, his fans would be so defensive and they would go after that person and say Bobby's a victim. You know, they would just get really worked up about it. But of course, when Bobby's doing it to somebody, it's like, oh, you know, it's just innocent Bobby. He couldn't hurt a fly. And his fans seem to think it's funny. Like, this is kind of part of his comedy, and his fans love it. Like, there's this one show he did, and as soon as he got on stage, he lifted his shirt up and told some guy to touch his stomach, and then he grabs the guy's hand and puts it on his dick.
Muscle, that's one muscle. It's very soft, fucker. Touch it, touch it. Come here, come here, come here, touch it. Right here, okay. I trick you. I sneaky.
Yeah, and that guy didn't look too happy about it. You know, it's crazy Bobby hasn't gotten hit for this. Like, if he does that to the wrong person, it's not going to go well. I mean, George said he wanted to hit him when he kept doing that stuff to him. But thankfully there are some fans of Bobby's that are waking up and being like, yeah, Bobby is just really creepy. There's no denying at this point. You know, there's so many examples of it. Like him on those morning talk shows where he keeps trying to kiss the hosts and touch them and just make them really uncomfortable. And of course, most of his fans probably just think it's funny and he's doing a bit, you know, it's for comedy. But still, I mean, this is just some weird, perverted behavior.
That on TV, I'm so
Bobby,
sorry.
let's talk about your hair. Can we talk about what is it with the Addison Improv guys with
the
Courtney?
comedians at Addison Improv? I
They
don't know
love
what
you.
it is.
No, you're
Oh, it's like in the
a little sneak
neck.
attack, you know? Ask me, please.
Are
Can I
there-
touch your legs? Because they're so nice.
Are there,
Don't touch mine.
Are there comedians?
Wow, bumpy. Real bumpy.
I didn't shave
Yeah,
because I didn't know
wow.
I wanted to keep you off.
You're on television, please.
No one can see if I shaved or didn't shave
I
that
know.
far away.
I know.
No,
Don't be
I'm
mad at
trying
me.
to
Don't
ask
be mad
real
at me.
questions, and this is what happens all the time.
Don't do that.
You can see Bobby Lee.
I'm at the Addison Improv all weekend.
And like I said, I don't think there's a single other person that would be able to pull this off and not get canceled or just lose their whole career, basically. And there's also this other moment where he's chasing this woman around, trying to kiss her and touch her feet. And Bobby has a foot fetish, which he also brought up when Bobby Altoff was on his podcast, which I'll get to. But first, here's another one of his morning talk show apperances.
Come on, good to see you. Because you were on paternity leave last night, right? It's good to see you. I love it. I lived in Europe for a while. That's how we kissed.
That is how you
That's how we kissed.
Did he lick you?
Fine. I don't have the bird flu. Do it again? What am I? What? Where are you going?
Do not kiss my ankle, my ankle bone.
My bad. I'm sorry, come back. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, everybody. Everything's fine. Come back. I want to assault you anymore.
No, I don't trust you.
Why?
Because I can see you
From
jumping
a mile
on
away,
me
and I see you too. I see you too.
We have dogs. You have a dog.
I have a dog. Come here right now. You're being so rude right now. You're being so rude right now. Come back to the seat. Come back to the seat. Come back to the seat. You're being so rude right now. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. I apologize. My bad. I'm sorry. If you get up again, I swear to God, I'm never gonna come back here. Okay? Anyway, I have 3 cats and a dog, and God, those ankles are so appetizing.
Oh my God, that's got really.
I just want to.
And I'd say the only defense here for Bobby is if these people know who he is and know what he's like, you know, they know that he's always doing creepy and gross stuff, so they kind of expect it, but they all look pretty uncomfortable. And then also, like I said, Bobby Altoff was recently on Bad Friends, and Bobby just couldn't help himself and asked her if he could see her feet. And you could tell, like, I know her shtick is acting uncomfortable and awkward and weird and everything, but I think she was getting fed up with him. It definitely seemed like that.
True.
That's true. Interesting. I would love to see your feet.
Thank you.
Jiminy crickets.
Jiminy Crickets, I fucked up.
Why would you say that out loud?
I was looking at her boots right now. I go, like the boots, but I'm like, what's underneath it? And I go, probably nice feet.
You're not saying that in a gross way, are you, bud?
Not in a sexual, no.
All right.
I don't find her sexually attractive.
How big are your feet?
Why?
Do you get like a little lint between your toes, or?
Will you save some and send it to him?
No, it's just, this is weird. This is what you do to me. Then I'm going to leave here and tell people you was so
What?
weird.
You're
How-
gonna say Bobby was weird?
That's so
Yeah.
fucking. It's so crazy because it's like, why can't you ask these questions?
And I think since he's done this stuff for such a long time and has gotten away with it, he just has no filter. Like also with that Tijuana story, he told that on so many different podcasts. And even if it's made up, I don't know why you'd want to make something up like that and make yourself look that bad. You know, if you remember, the story was he went down to Tijuana and basically sexually assaulted a prostitute who looked like she was around 14 or 15 years old. So that could be made up, but I think it's just pretty obvious at this point that Bobby's a degenerate and he's gotten away with this stuff for so long and his fans have defended him that he just feels comfortable saying and doing whatever he wants. But after the George Janko situation, I think some more people are waking up to this. So I think he might have to change a little bit, but we'll see. So that's about it for this video. If you guys want more content from me, I just posted a new video on Patreon about the time Tim Dillon humbled Whitney Cummings. And there are over 70 other videos on there, so there's a lot to go through. Make sure you check it out. I'll put a link in the description.